From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
It's Tuesday, June 18th, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron String, and here with me on the ones and twos, our fill-in engineer, Clark Flippo.
Hey.
Chandler is late once again.
Happy birthday, Chandler.
It really was his birthday yesterday.
Yes,
It really was, and now he'll get nothing. Even if he shows up halfway during the show, not a word.
Yeah, not a word.
Yeah.
So over there on the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
Joining us from Gatorland, Florida, Eddie Big Cat Koffoltz.
Bless you. Bless all of you.
And all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, author, speaker, podcaster, cowgirl extraordinaire, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents.
Good morning, Jesse. Yeah, it was indeed Chandler's 32nd birthday yesterday.
And Father's Day.
And Father's Day, yeah. The day he was born was actually Father's Day, so my dad likes to say he's the best Father's Day present.
But last year, Cameron got his dad a really cool briefcase, and now that is the best Father's Day present. So, I mean, it's a really nice one. It's like leather. It's like the briefcase that if you were doing a deal and needed to give someone $200,000,
right,
you would open it up, and they would all be in there, and they're like, wow, that's a fantastic briefcase. It has a handcuff for your wrist in case you get in a sticky situation. I mean, So no offense, Chandler, but I mean, it was a very nice gift, Cameron.
Oh, he won't hear this. He's
as a little low hanging fruit joke for Chandler. I posted a little joke message on Twitter, and I did all the tags in it were different Pokemon tags.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
just say I have some interesting new followers that are pretty into the gaming community.
I had bought Chandler a $1,000 gift card to Chili's, which now I'll be using because of his tardiness as punishment. Those are all mine. It was a very generous gift this year.
I mean, we had a
mine.
big birthday celebration planned for the very beginning of this show, and I guess we just have to move on and return all the presents.
So sad.
Sadly, there's just like an intern walking out of the building with balloons, seeing if they can return them. It's all very sad.
Seeing if they can return them.
Yeah. Hey, Clark, can you send Sufjan Stevens home? He was gonna do a little something for Chandler. They're both guys that like interesting baseball hats, and now that's ruined. So just send him on his way. Well, maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
You guys missed last Friday's show. We missed you very much. What happened was Jesse and Tyler and I were at the very end of sending our 100th issue to the printer.
Yeah,
and
there is nothing. There is no podcast like a print is ready to go to print podcast. There is a special crazy that permeates the.
Well, Jesse gets up at 5 a.m. to work. I'm working till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Like none of us are on our regular.
It's very
mindset.
true.
Actually, yeah. Go ahead.
Delirium. We were basically delirious
And
recording
punchy.
that podcast.
Right before we started recording, for the first time ever, I heard Jesse get a little snippy to the point that he sent me a message saying, "Man, I'm really sorry I was so snippy before the podcast." I mean, it was a rare one.
Sorry, I wasn't here for that.
No.
I know. Well,
Jesse, I've heard you apologize before. I just wanted to hear you do that to Cameron.
It was a good one to miss, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, the internet, again, 2 weeks in a row, the internet Twitter particularly is real concerned about when I miss the show, as if I'm some sort of social emotional policewoman on the show, which I am not. I am just another co-host. But
I know, but you would have had enough with this. You would have been like, okay, can I tell you what? I'm not going to go too deep into it.
We're not.
But most of the show consisted of us pitching fictional shows for a cable network called Bushwhack TV.
Yeah,
and
I
every
saw the
show
mug.
had to feature George W. Bush prominently. And people started sending, we didn't even have an editorial question of the week, it was the Friday show, and people started sending us what shows they would want to pitch as if that was the editorial question of the week. So we got a little bonus.
What I really love about like not being on one show is because I'll usually listen back to at least like front matter and the end just to kind of make sure that I'm keeping up with all the jokes and everything. But when I don't do that, and then I see the editorial question of the week answers that we're going to talk about today, I always think, what had to happen to get there? How did they get from A to Z in a single show? And sure, we'll answer these questions.
Let's reverse engineer it. Yeah, let's
for the first time ever in the middle of the interview segment, it went off the rails. I mean, it was it was.
I heard all this. From
Annie. To your point earlier, when I'm not on the show, you know what people say about me? They say, "Great having Tyler back." It's great having Tyler back.
This week, someone said something about like, Annie, where were you? And they were like, or Jamie Ivey. Like at this point, they just want some female in here to help, which I love Jamie being on the show too. I just was tripping out. I thought it was so funny.
Well, Jamie, most of the off the rails had to do with Texas specific content. And so that's why I think,
which would have been helpful with Jamie.
Right in her wheelhouse. Yeah.
Is nothing sacred if the interview goes off the rails? Like at that point, you just the guest is just like, no, I cannot. I did not sign up for this terrible thing.
I really wanted our team to intentionally misspell Max Lucado's name in the show title so that his people would not like get a Google News alert that the interview is ready and go listen to it, because most of the interview once again talked about hypothetical George Bush TV shows. Out of the last 2 episodes that Cameron, Tyler, and I have recorded on our own, 94% of the content was either about a Rambo movie trailer or fictional George W. Bush TV show. So I feel like today is a good chance to course correct a little.
This is the pivot. If you're listening now, this is a good one to listen to because this is the one that's back on track.
Yeah. Yet we will still somehow, if the show is anything like it should be, we'll still figure out how to get to an editorial question of the week that has to do with like, what would you do with a stuffed elephant or something like that? Like that's where we're going to get to.
Is it an actual sized elephant? Like a stuffed, like an actual elephant sized stuffed animal?
What would you stuff it with? That's a lot of stuffing.
Candy.
Elephant.
That's part 2 of the question.
Hey, it's elephant meat.
Oh, gosh. Just see, if I wouldn't have been here, they'd have just kept laughing because what everybody should know is that both dudes laughed at Jesse saying that. And I was immediately offended at the idea of that. No, you just do it like
delicious, endangered elephant meat.
If there's anything we know about the differences between men and women, it's the reactions to elephant meat.
That's
here's one thing I've learned. The more endangered the meat, the sweeter it is. It is
when Jesse and I were in Somaliland, there was literally like one restaurant, at the one hotel. And it was one of those, it was almost a Cheesecake Factory-esque thickness of the menu. Okay? Because it was page after page after page of exotic meats that no American could normally acquire.
I did the tour of Italy that evening and sampled all of the endangered meats of the Horn of Africa.
It was called the Horn of Africa. Yeah, it was.
Ooh, look at this! Now I'm on the primate page. What do we have here? An endangered spider monkey? Yes, please.
Coming up later, we have a great show in store for you. Coming up, joining us is Tim Tebow.
Yes, go Gators! Come on, Tim Tebow.
He discusses the new film he's executive produced called "Run the Race."
Yeah,
Mr. Tim Tebow.
One of the only people I've ever seen in person that made me clam up hard. Like,
why did you clam up?
Because he's like just such a great Gator, and he's just awesome dude. And I was like not expecting it, but he walked into the room I was in, and it was like it was like total frozen. And I never had the wherewithal to say like, "Hey Tim, you mean so much to me in the Gator Nation." And
were you physically intimidated? Yeah.
Was I physically? Oh yeah. I mean, in terms
He's
of
an Adonis.
The physical opposite of Tim Tebow, I guess, is me. And so,
Andy,
he's the only person
Tim
that I've yelled very unkind things to from a sidelines that I've later become friends with. So it is very, very surprising. But I think he's awesome.
Did he voice recognize you?
He's like, is that the same voice I heard in 2003? Probably.
I remember. Shout profanities at me real quick, just as loud as you can.
I did not shout profanities, but
did you go to the Florida Georgia game? Like in Jacksonville when he was playing?
Yeah, it was never directed at Tim Tebow as a human, just as a. So
I'm sure that.
But now
Annie,
I think he's incredibly lovely, and I'm glad we know each other. And he and I have already talked about recovering from our Georgia Florida-ness. So
Annie,
we're all
I'm
right.
sure when you're shouting mean things about him and his family and his appearance and his throwing motion, I'm sure he thinks that's not personal at all. So
No.
that is the fine line between your heckling, Annie, and Cameron's Orlando Magic heckling. Like Cameron goes for just deep personal details of like their children's
from
names.
6 feet away. From 6 feet away.
I do not. I make if they airball it, I'm going to be on them the rest of the game. But that was they asked for it. I'm not going to go arbitrarily heckle somebody. I'm going to heckle somebody. This is always
where we come apart at the seams is because I don't think they ask for it necessally just by playing
if you're
making
$15 million a year to play a game that children play, I feel like this comes with the territory. I don't feel all that bad for them.
If you fall down right in front of me and look me in the eye with embarrassment, I'm going to heckle you the rest of the game. I'm going to remind you of that moment.
That's good for me to know in real life. If I ever fall down right in front of you and then look you in the eyes, I'm going to get heckled for the rest of my life.
Annie, listen, for me, that rule, if you fall down in front of me, look me in the eyes as you're falling, that applies whether you are an NBA superstar or whether you're an elderly person at the grocery store. You're getting the same treatment. A good hearty laugh on my part, and then I just go on my way. So that's the difference between you and I, Annie. We can just laugh at what the world presents us with.
Jesse, a little behind the scenes, Jesse hasn't done the Tim Tebow interview yet. I have a request. Could you ask him his actual feelings about game heckling and being heckled and stuff?
Yes.
I actually would like to know.
I'm making a note. I will do that.
Later, the person actively apologizing to your actual ears and recovering in friendship. That's the full story.
No, and I'm going to say, and I talked to someone who's actually apologized, and I know for a fact, Tim, it was insincere. She said that she was just uncomfortable. She's the type of person who laughs at when an elderly person falls at the grocery store. She told me this, Tim. She is a horrible.
I'm gonna hate all of this. I'm gonna have to beat you to communicating with Tim.
Her name is Annie F. Downs.
Her name is Annie F. Downs.
Jesse, will you ask him this question for me?
Sure.
Ask him if he remembers that time that he did that awesome pass, like when he jumped over the LSU pass. Pile.
Yeah.
But the question is, does he remember that I was there? and my name is Eddie. And I was pretty high up.
I assume you remember the jump pass. I perform it every time I play backyard football, and I'm wearing jeans. I'm farving it out there. Do you remember Eddie was there that afternoon? The jump pass. You remember the jump pass?
Jeans.
Listen, when I play backyard football, everyone's out there in gym clothes. I'm out there in Wranglers and a torn up shirt that I just been baling hay with all afternoon. That's how you play football. And I got for some reason I got a golden retriever lined up at the line of scrimmage. I go pure Brett Favre if I'm playing backyard football, guys.
All right. Well, Tim Tebow joins us later. Okay, moving the show along. Stay tuned. Up next, it's Slices.
Josh Little of Bozeman, Montana is 23 years old, but he's been an avid rock climber since he was 7. However, a few years ago, he experienced a horrific accident falling 70 feet off of a cliff.
And they had to put me on a backboard and get me about a mile and a half out before they could get to an actual even landing site for the helicopter for Mercy flight.
Miraculously, Josh survived, but he broke bones throughout his body and suffered a series of very serious injuries. Thankfully, his family are members of Samaritan Ministries, and while Josh was on the long road to recovery in the hospital, his family called Samaritan, who helped them navigate all of his healthcare needs, and even some of their spiritual ones.
It was incredible, actually. I was just talking with Mom the other day, actually, and she was saying that, she broke down once or twice, while I was in the ICU, and they just stopped what they were doing right there and just stopped and prayed with her and made sure she was okay, because she was handling a lot of the logistics while I was, in the ICU just healing, comparatively to just about any other thing I've ever heard of. Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. It's a personalized version of the Samaritan story, which is what I would deem to be one of the better ways to do things in any capacity, whether it be ministry or just sharing in each other's burdens. We are the church and we are unified through Christ. They really help you step by step through just about any situation you can think of.
In addition to Samaritan members helping one another with medical costs, one of the other cool things is you're plugged into this community of like-minded people. Tell me about some of the letters of support you received while you were recovering.
Yeah, I've got a stack of about, I don't know, 3-4 feet tall. That's all just letters that came with our shares from Samaritan. Just reading all the different notes and like where different people are from and what they're at and how they, operate. And hey, I had a son fall as well. I know what you're going through. God's got this. Like it was just really cool to hear a lot of actual heart and good-hearted people from a church, like basically they're fellow believers with you in the whole thing. So it's really cool to hear and read. And I mean, some even left contacts if I ever wanted to meet up with them at some point. Wow. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a cool thing to be able to experience as you're going through healings, like sometimes feeling like you're never going to be fixed again. It's just really good for the mental state and for the spirit.
If you would like to learn more about how you can be part of this ministry, helping each other with healthcare, visit SamaritanMinistries.org/relevant.
You're listening to Banks. The song is Gimme. At the beginning of the podcast, of course, you heard DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince with Summertime, because it is. Okay, it's time for Slices. What do you have, Jesse?
All right, well, guess what? It's a two for it's happening. Okay, so the first one comes to us from the quaint little Irish island of Erinmore. It sounds like someone from like Middle Earth or like
say that 10 times fast.
Or one time slowly, even.
Or just once correctly.
Let me start from the beginning. Tim Tebow's on the show today, and I got a two for Erinmore. It's quaint. It's very picturesque. It's got those, like when you picture Ireland in your mind, like any kind of movie that takes place. And Annie, you've been to Ireland relatively recently, correct?
Yes. Yeah, Scotland is where I used to live, but I go to Ireland when I'm over there sometimes.
Yeah, in my mind, they're the same place. I know I can't tell you anything different about them, but that's okay. So it's got those big cliffs that go into the ocean. It's got those green rolling hills, little cottages tucked away into the mountains. It looks just like you'd picture Ireland in literally anything you've ever seen with Ireland in it.
You too.
Yeah, exactly. U2's just hanging out at pubs, playing, classics. So they have a problem, though. The population of this island, which is a decent sized island, but it's got a lot of like wilderness area to it, is down to its last 469 residents. So this once bustling island for since medieval times has been a really popular place to live, but people don't want to live there anymore. The weather's not super great, and you're on an island. You don't have quick access to the rest of the world. But they have good news. They just got high-speed internet wired into this island. And so to celebrate this,
for the first time ever.
For the first time ever, they have just got high-speed internet. And so now they are doing something to try to save the island because it's slowly dying. They've got under 500 people there left. So the mayor has drafted an open letter, and he's trying to recruit. Right now, he's targeting Americans and Australians to come and live on this island and, work remotely. And so here are, some of the selling points for moving to this island. He says that why not come here? Your commute, no matter where you are, will only ever be 5 minutes because the village is really small. He said, fed up with overpacked beaches on Erinmore, you'll have your own secluded beaches to yourself. And listen, if you want to go and work like in like the kind of the tech or media industry, he's got good news. Jesse, a graphic designer, lives there. Neil, a mobile games developer, and Matt, an app developer, and Elaine, a photographer. The entire media industry is on a first name basis on Erinmore. So you can go and work freelance. Yeah. So I was just curious. I'm not planning on relocating to Erinmore anytime, but I was curious of like, okay, well, how much would it cost? Like hypothetically, if you were to just like, if you could, work from anywhere, if you wanted to live on this like idyllic Irish island out in the middle of whatever sea that is, how much would it cost? Renting a room or having a place to stay there isn't much. So I couldn't find a lot of like rooms to rent or houses for sale, but there are a lot of Airbnbs on there starting at the price.
Why are there Airbnbs? Because people own the homes and just left?
I guess so.
There's just nothing but empty buildings.
Wow.
And so Airbnbs start at $25 a night.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean,
well, they do in
math.
New York too, but you get what you pay for. So
yeah. Yeah. So $25 a night. So basically for under like $800 a month, you can go have high speed internet and live on this crazy secluded Irish island. No word yet if any Americans or Australians have taken them up on the offer.
Forgive me if you said this. I don't remember it's an island off of what side of Ireland?
Ooh,
we didn't know Ireland had sides until you just said it. So let's be honest.
Let me ask you this.
Actually an island.
Annie, let me ask you this. What are my options here? I'm going to say northeast.
What's newsworthy about this? Is this like when the mayor of Detroit said, like, come to Detroit and we will give you houses for free? I mean, like it's just saying
they haven't gotten to that point yet where they don't have like the enticement other than just like this looks like something out of a fantasy novel. This looks like basically it looks like if you were to picture like Lord of the Rings or something, like the pictures of Aaron Moore are completely insane. And like I said, housing basically costs nothing, but they've gotten to the point where they're getting so desperate that the mayor is pinning open letters to Americans and Australians to come relocate.
Can I just help everyone by saying you were right. It's off the northwest coast of Ireland.
Yeah,
you knew that.
Yeah.
You knew that, Eddie.
I didn't hear you. Did you say northwest?
Yeah, it's northwest.
Oh, okay. So perfect.
Yeah.
What's Cameron, though, to answer your question, Cameron, there's nothing newsworthy about this. This is straight from the Jesse Carey file of small areas of land that he could somehow take over. Because throughout the years, we've had multiple conversations about people that went into the wilderness and claimed their own government. Like, this isn't outside of the realm of like, he feels like he could take over Matt, no problem, right?
He's got some sort of Google alert on places I could take over easily.
But it's not even like that when the ghost town was for sale. It's not like this is just
mad we didn't buy that ghost town.
This is just literally a place in the world where you could rent an Airbnb and go live, which is like this exact story could be thousands of places. Like you could say in the Caribbean, you could rent a oceanside villa for $50 a night. I mean, like what's this
is a sponsored advertisement.
That's what I'm wondering. I think he's in the pocket. I think he's
Listen, I have taken a substantial sum of money from the government of Aaron Moore. I have
his
residuals.
name is Neil.
I have Neil, the graphic designer, and Neil, the graphic designer, Elena, the photographer. We are getting residuals on our $25 a night Airbnb that I'm hoping to draw some people into here.
First ever relevant conference on Aaron Moore.
You bring up a good point here, Cameron. Like, if there is ever a place that is ripe for some sort of sovereignty, it's Aaron Moore, right? Like, what's preventing me from moving there, taking over the political scene, and then, leaving the EU? It's just the nation of Aaron Moore. Nothing.
Okay, people
is
need to go look at this place because you're right, Jesse. This land you're about to conquer is gorgeous.
It is insane. Like, it is the most, like I said, it seems like something out of a movie or like a cool puzzle or something.
And the way they are counting down the amount of people who live there. In 2006, it was 528. In 2011, it was 514.
It is a little ominous how desperate they're getting.
Some people need to start birthing some babies over there.
Yeah. Or Australians and Americans needs to relocate. Okay. So for any listeners looking for the next adventure, if you move to Aaron Moore, let us know. Okay.
But hey, but what's facing Aaron Moore is facing the U.S. as well, where birth rates, because of demographic generational shifts, birth rates are down. The population of the U.S. over the next 50 years is going to decrease unless we increase immigration. So the same thing for Aaron Moore. They're going, our birth rate's going down. We need to bring in immigration. So we're in the same bucket.
Have y'all seen that movie, Children of Men, where people don't have babies for 18 years?
Yeah.
No.
That's a classic. Children of Men.
fascinating.
Children
because
men.
people stop caring about museums and they stop picking up their trash and all these things because the population's going to end. There aren't any more humans. And so the population just keeps decreasing. So they don't care about holding on to things for the next generation. It spun me out a little bit.
Yeah, clearly. It's a big moment for you.
It's a great film.
I just watched it because John Tyson talked about it in a sermon he did about culture. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's fascinating. You should watch it.
Yeah. That is a great movie. It's Alfonso Cuarón, the Oscar-winning filmmaker. It was before he, really, made it mainstream. Okay, finally, so are you guys familiar with the site Genius? Like the lyric aggregator site? Like basically, you can go to Genius, look up any song lyric you want, and it's annotated. So sometimes the songwriters themselves will go in there and tell you the meaning behind lyrics, or users can go and do basically like Wikipedia style annotation where they can leave notes about what these specific song lyrics mean. So Genius for a while has been...
And also put in the song lyrics. Because remember that Social Club Misfits song came out and they said something about Relevant Magazine and we couldn't tell what the line leading up to it was. So we went on Genius to see and, there it is. And then when we talked to the guys, they're like, no, that's not the lyric at all. It was just a fan who wrote the lyric like that, and they misheard
hilarious.
it. Yeah, so.
Well, Genius has been doing more and more to work with artists, especially like in hip hop, where some of the lyrics, like that Social Club song, might be hard to decipher for the casual listener. And so for some of these more lyrically complex songs, they're working directly with songwriters and record labels now to get these to be like sort of this exclusive database for song lyrics. Well, if any of you have like Googled a song lyric lately, you'll notice that on your Google search results, they'll display right there on the front of the screen. Like if if you just take a line from a song and Google it, you have like what they call a lyric box, and it shows the song lyrics, a little drop down menu right there on your Google homepage. Well, since Google started doing that, Genius has seen a massive decline in traffic because people can Google song lyrics instead of clicking through to Genius to read them. They can read them right there on their Google front page. Well, Genius got the hunch that we think that Google is just copying and pasting the lyrics from our site. Like we work with artists exclusively, and we don't know how else they could be getting these lyrics other than just literally copying and pasting them from Genius. And so they approached Google about it, and Google said, "No, we are not doing this. That's not something we would do." And so Genius has recently set a trap for Google, and it looks like Google fell right into it. So what they started doing is they started replacing a lot of the apostrophes in songs. So they would replace them with either like the standard apostrophe, which is kind of curved, or a special font that one was straight. And they would replace these throughout the songs. And they actually had a message written out across a bunch of songs in Morse code based on the apostrophes. So they seeded these songs out there. Then they started Googling them. And sure enough, when the Google display showed these songs where they changed the apostrophes, it read out in Morse code, red-handed. So Genius caught Google, quote unquote, red-handed. So Google is still denying it, and now they're blaming it on like a third party that they work with to provide lyrics for their site. And that third party has denied it, but Genius has literally caught them in the act. They've caught them red-handed by changing out the apostrophes.
Wow.
Yeah. So Google busted. It was Google, right? Who their initial slogan was "Do no evil" or "Don't be evil." Is that the
don't be evil.
Yeah, that seems something in tech. I think it was Google.
Yeah, I think it was Google. I think their initial motto, which I'm not saying this was evil, but clearly it's not cool. And they've lied about it. We're caught red-handed. The other thing too is don't be evil should be given. Like if an organization is saying, "Hey, our motto is don't be evil," that should be a red flag. Like that's a very, very low bar. Like our mission statement is simply not evil. Like, I feel like Google hasn't done a lot to endear the trust of users or other companies like Genius. And this is another example of them doing something kind of shady. And they have so much power that they can make one change to their search results, like displaying the lyrics on the front page, and it can totally decimate a site like Genius, who's totally reliant on web traffic that they are now no longer getting from search. So,
well, this always leads to the bigger conversation. We've talked about it before on the show, but like the amount of data we're comfortable with allowing big tech companies to have, because part of me is like, I know that Facebook is just reading my mail, everything, and is probably listening to me talking. And then part of me is like, well, it is certainly very convenient just to get what I want when I want it, and I don't have anything to hide. We've talked about this, but like I go around and around, I'm like, why? Of course, Google is just sweeping everything off of the internet, but also don't we kind of not care because we just want our answers quickly?
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't serve. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point. It doesn't service Genius very well, but it serves the end user well. And the other thing, too, it's kind of like a gray area copyright wise because, Genius doesn't own those lyrics. They just happen to be a site whose business model is contingent on them having them in their database. But if they can do it, why can't Google? Why can't they display it? So it's an interesting story, but it's more that Google repeatedly lied about it than if they would have just said, yeah, we're just taking the lyrics from your site because they're song lyrics. Then I think Genius probably would have been upset, but I don't know what recourse they would have had. But the fact that Google got caught in a lie makes it look really bad for Google, So
Google. All right.
Yeah.
You're just a detective, Jesse.
I'm really sniffing it out. I want to thank Nick, the computer science engineer on Aragorn, for sniffing this one out. He's got a ton of time on his hands because there's nothing to do there.
There's nothing to do there.
Literally counting sheep. I mean, when you're tired, you literally just go outside and count sheep.
That's my thing. It's like they need to incentivize people if they want, new blood to move over there. You are in a remote island with nothing to do. I need to be compensated somehow.
Yeah, I feel like they should not be focusing on people moving there. They should be focusing on like writing retreats or creative excursions where you go and spend a month there and knock out a huge project or something like that. Because nobody's actually going to want to live there.
No one's going to uproot their life to go live on some rando island in the
Baltic. Some people do.
But even the freelancers and stuff, I mean, if they pitched it as like come for the summer or come for, a semester or something like that, for life experience or whatever, fine. But I don't know. I don't get it.
It's off the northwest coast, and nobody's going up there.
It's like the episode of The Office where Michael goes and he tries to recruit students to intern at Dunder Mifflin, and he's like, "Listen, we can't offer any school credit, and we do not pay at all. But it's a really great place to work. Like, there's no sales pitch there. It's just like, I mean, why not? Why not?"
All right, what do you have, Annie?
Well, listen, I can't even believe I'm bringing this slice to you when I'm sitting across from my assistant because we do this every day. But the problem is when it's time for us to eat lunch, we just usually go grab our lunch and come back and sit at our desk and keep going. Just part of like our system a little bit.
Yes.
But
wait,
apparently,
hold on. One question, Annie.
Yes.
She's your assistant. So is it part of your system or her system? Like if
My
she
system.
were okay, because if she were like, "Hey, Annie, I'm going to go,"
oh, I would be fine with it. If she was like, "Hey, I'm going to go play on my phone for 40 minutes or an hour while and eat my lunch," I'd be fine. But we just like, kind of keep rolling. Yeah. We also don't stay till 10 p.m. Right? So anyway, But there's this study that says millennials are more afraid of lunch breaks than any other generation. And I was curious what y'all's systems are in your lives. Yes, Eddie?
Afraid?
Yes.
I raised my hand, first of all. I don't know why I did that.
I mean, everyone knows that lunch hour is the most haunted hour of the
terrifying,
day.
Right?
And I do not, their fears are well founded, Eddie.
Well,
what are they
afraid
afraid of?
that they're going to be judged by their coworkers for taking a break in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
so they're afraid of a lunch break. So they'd rather just keep working at their desk. In fact, they're 3 times more likely than baby boomers to think their coworkers will judge them. But it also says that that millennials wish they could step away and eat lunch. And in fact, 16% of the people surveyed said they would take a pay cut if it meant they could go to lunch every day. That's awful.
Wow. Well, I mean, most workplaces offer a lunch hour, but they're saying they would take a pay cut if it was like socially acceptable in their workplace.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
What do y'all do at Relevant, Cameron?
We do an hour lunch.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I can't think of the last time I will step out of the office to pick up the sandwich and then come right back, but I won't take an hour. But most everybody does from what I can eyeball. I mean, we encourage it. I mean, if you're pedal to the metal for 9 hours a day, I mean, you're not going to be at your best, you know? It's
right.
like
So would you rather work 9 to 5 and have a lunch break, or would you rather work 9 to 4 or 9 to 3:30 and but eat lunch at your desk?
We do an 8-hour workday. So we let them decide, do you want a half-hour lunch or an hour lunch? And then set your schedule based on that. So like people can start anywhere from 8 to 9. And then, you know, I started at and then we end the day by between 5 and 6. And so a lot of people will come in, you know, at 8:30, do a half-hour lunch and leave at 5, you know?
Okay.
Now, Annie, I feel like that's super interesting because I'm not a big lunch out person. You know, occasionally I'll go run an errand or something. But I have found that if I don't take a few minutes at lunch just to kind of not think about anything, I feel like I'm way more productive if I do that than if I just plow through. You know, which I'm I'll do, but I'll. You know, I've kind of made it a thing okay, I'll probably think more clearly in the afternoon and take a lunch. When's the last time you and your assistant have gone to lunch, Annie?
Let me check. Jenna, when is the last time we went to lunch and didn't work? She says, I don't know. I'm not sure. I do not know. She's worked with me for 7 months and I do not know that we've ever just taken a lunch.
Okay, Annie, will you invite Jenna right now to go to PF Chang's with you today, high noon?
PF Chang's?
Peel chicken.
Why are you going to PF Chang's?
Today we have stuff. I brought my lunch.
There's always the lunch spot, not PF Chang's.
Yeah. No, but I want a nice slow lunch. I want them to really dig in.
Yeah,
an hour and a half.
owe her this, Annie. The poor woman hasn't eaten lunch in 7 months. The least you could do is a Cheesecake Factory at PF Chang's. You know, one of those
Factory high noon. Gross.
Yeah, she's sitting there wolfing down a Caesar salad and Diet Coke in front of you every day as you bark orders.
Yeah, you're right. That's about how it goes.
Well, cool life for her.
I see.
So the millennial who works with me is scared to take a lunch break.
And he's like, you know, here's what's funny about this is I'm talking and I see the fork going from your Caesar salad to your mouth, but I don't see a pen in the other hand writing down what I'm saying. Isn't this odd?
What if I talk like that? Oh my gosh.
Maybe you could switch to smoothies so you could write and drink at the same time.
Yeah. Yep.
She requires all of her assistants to be either ambidextrous or learn how to eat with the left hand.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
right.
Or just
we don't get this amount of work
meal.
done by eating lunch, everybody.
Yeah, no, that's right. This brand doesn't do itself.
You have two options. Make that left hand learn to write or start liquefying your lunch because I'm not going to have this lollygagging while you microwave a Hot Pocket. Those are 3 minutes we're not getting back, okay? So you can eat it frozen with your bare hand, and it's just the same in your belly.
Yeah.
Real talk about this, though, Annie. About a year ago, I read this book called, I think it was called Mindful Eating, or it was about mindful eating, about the idea of just paying way more attention to the food that you eat, not only just in terms of nutrition, but also speed at which you eat, because typically we'll do exactly what your article is saying. We just kind of ingest as we're doing other stuff. And so we're not aware of it. And so it was actually a conscious health decision to stop for lunch. And I can't do an hour. I mean, an hour is just I'm out of my mind. But I will straight up make my lunch or grab lunch and then sit on the back porch with no phone just to be present with, it sounds so hippy dippy, but present with the food so that it's not just I'm hungry again in 10 minutes because I just wolfed this down and wasn't thinking. So
there's a better way to do this. Our system is that we usually leave 3:30, 4 o'clock so she doesn't deal with traffic on our commute home, and so I can work out outside because I like to go to this place called Radnor Lake, blah, blah, blah. And so I think part of the exchange is we sit here at lunch knowing that we're not here till 6 p.m.
Yeah. For me, it's listen, if a rare white rhino had to die for this burger, or if there's one less elephant in the world right now, the least I can do is take 5 minutes and savor this thing instead of shoving another one into the blender and just drinking it down while I work through lunch again. It's just something special I do for those magnificent beasts that died for my food.
Hey, I just got a text from Jenna. And it says, "Please help, so hungry."
I think Jenna's moving to Aaron more if she hears this.
She's asking to start working remotely from Aaron more.
All right, what do you have, Eddie?
So in Gainesville and all around the country, and actually around the world, there is a debate raging, and it's been going on for a while, but about the use of plastic bags and plastic straws. And I know that in Gainesville specifically, there is just an uproar, and it's basically the small business community pushing back hard against the city council, because the city council is trying to mandate that they do away with plastic bags. Obviously, this is for environmental reasons, and the small business community is saying, we're okay doing this eventually, but it's going to cost us a lot in our margin. And so this is the conversation that's happening. But through some parts of the country, the conversation has been resolved, and there is plastic bags have either been banned, or there is a kind of an increased tariff on them. So if you use a plastic bag, you got to pay, an extra quarter. You hear a lot of stories about this, but in a marketing attempt gone terribly wrong, there is a place called East West Market, and this is in Vancouver. And Vancouver hasn't outlawed plastic bags, but they are trying drastically to get people to push back on their use of them. And so this idea at East West Market went as follows. And I'm actually going to only give you the front half of the story, and I'm going to let you all guess how the story ends.
Oh, okay. I can't wait.
So what East West Market decided to do, on top of charging customers extra for a plastic bag, and we're talking, you just grab your lunch and it's in just like a white plastic normal bag, is they designed special bags, and the bags had one of two designs. Either the bag on it said the Colon Care Co-op. So the joke is you're now walking around with a plastic bag that says the Colon Care Co-op, or there was another one that said Into the Weird Adult Video Emporium, which I don't want to go into explaining what that means, but we understand. So you were going to walk out of the store with the idea that you would so not want one of these bags.
You'd be so shamed. Yeah.
You'd be so shamed.
Yeah. It's a shame tactic.
So they're saying bring your own bag, or else if you are going to waste plastic bags, you're going to be shamed with this embarrassing bag. Okay,
so,
first of all, can we all agree that shame is not a motivator to long-term behavior change? I mean, that's not, I don't know. Here's my guess. My guess is that it was so kitsch. I mean, obviously it's now national news that everybody went and wanted the kitsch bags. That would be my guess, is that
because they're both kind of hilarious. Like,
I would think it went exactly the opposite the way they wanted it to.
I would not be shamed walking out. I would be like looking like, isn't this bag hilarious?
Yeah.
They have not only sold out of bags, but they have sold so many that they have doubled the amount of plastic bags they used before the program.
No.
They have people now coming to the store just to buy the plastic bags as like joke gifts. They saw an increase in sales in plastic bags around Father's Day because they just knew it would be a 25-cent joke for dad.
Right.
And the anti-plastic PR has completely backfired, and everybody wants these bags, and it's become a badge of hilarity to walk around town with the Colon Care Center on a bag because you were able to go and get one of these.
I would reuse the plastic bag, knowing that I may not be able to get another one. I'm gonna
It's like a Supreme drop, the scarcity. Like you're racing to get the new obscene novelty plastic bag, because you don't know when they're going to be sold out.
Yeah, so Cameron is right. Shame is not a good motivator, but if you're going to shame, do it the right way. Like they should have done a plastic bag that just says like, I don't care about the environment. I don't care about baby seals.
Yeah, don't be funny.
I bought a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Or have like that, poor sea turtle with the straw coming out of his nose or something like, gosh, this is contributing. This is contributing so much to, this bag contains rare elephant meat. Like something that's really genuinely shameful,
Right.
So
Not bags that are really, really funny. That's their problem. They got too funny with it.
The moral of this story is marketing strategy matters. Think through it.
Yeah, that's right.
Eddie, I'm worried about the statement you made a little bit ago about how you like to spend time with your food at lunch and be very intentional about your food. This happened that this came across my feed while we've been talking. Somebody took a picture of the church sign at the Westboro Baptist Church. Okay.
Oh, no.
The church sign. No. And it says, and I quote, atheists, anti-theists, vegans, God mockers, and Christian eaters will burn in hell.
Oh,
Well,
Christian
What
eaters?
are Christian eaters? First of all,
Are they all Christian eaters?
And what's wrong
Christian
with
eaters.
vegans? Like,
I don't know, but they're going to burn in hell according to Westboro.
really?
Christian
When-
eaters. If I'm assuming if you're intentional with your food, you might be a Christian eater, Eddie.
Again,
Wow.
a marketing strategy gone wrong because now I just
Right.
feel like, well, if they're not into it, I'm doubling down on vegan.
Yeah, if they don't like
I might
it,
go vegan.
I'm vegan. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly
I'm definitely a Christian eater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I'm confused by Christian eater because the only way I'm in agreement with them if that's people
Oh, I
who
can't wait
eat
for this.
Christians, and it's like, well, they
Oh,
probably
okay.
deserve to go to hell. If you're
Yeah,
eating
Christian
another
eaters,
human,
yeah.
I don't
Cannibals.
agree with that.
Yeah,
Unless
Oh,
it's
sure,
some
sure,
sort of
sure.
situation like that movie Alive, in which case you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, exactly. if you are down, if I'm on a life raft in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with another Christian, and look, it comes down to me and him, I will be a Christian eater. But most scenarios, Annie, it tastes very similar to elephant meat, from what I understand.
I hate this.
A
Christian,
little tangy, fibrous.
a sweet Christian burger.
I'm going to sit quietly and see how deep this goes. Keep going.
No. we're good.
I was sitting in, I remember distinctly sitting in an English class watching that movie because public school, you just
Alive,
watch
yeah.
movies. So watching that movie Alive, and the classroom, we did not know what it's about. And it just got quieter and quieter in the room until like one guy starts to carve into another guy. And John Faust just goes, "What?" And the whole room, I mean, I was like snot crying so hard because it was such a tense moment. And we didn't know that this was what was going to happen. A little forewarning about that movie would have been nice.
They eat each other. No, but I'm genuinely curious, like not just like as a joke. I'm genuinely curious as what they mean by Christian eater.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
I bet
like,
you could
Christian
ask them and
eaters.
they would happily answer you.
because
Yeah,
do
you
they
want them on your radar.
assume that Christians being eaten is like a major culture problem right now? Like it's a social problem at the forefront of the culture wars. You know, we want to take Family Guy off TV for their raunchy dialogue and also stop people from cannibalizing Christians. Like, like what are they fighting against
Well,
here?
do
I
you
don't
think
understand.
maybe they're talking about gluttony? That like Christian eaters, like if you're a Christian and you eat too much, like you're gluttonous and deadly sin and going to
Yeah,
hell.
but it doesn't say Christian overeaters, Christian eaters. I mean, it seems like any
That's a good
Christian
point.
is the
Good
Christian
point.
eater. You know, maybe this is the point. They just want to get people scratching their heads. Like, what do they got against vegans and Christians who actually consume food? Like, that seems, pretty
Yeah.
basic, but
I know,
trying
it
to-
seems like it's just another part of life, but what do I know?
yeah.
But I do feel like they'd be happy to be on the podcast sometime, Jesse, if you just want to call
Oh,
Westboro
that'd be,
Baptist.
yeah.
We should
Well,
definitely give them space.
Yeah.
if there's anyone who, the platform, we could really just, that was ironically years ago. I can't remember which. It was like a conservative AM radio talk show host. And, that was when Westboro was actively protesting military funerals. They would go into these horrible protests at the funerals of fallen, American soldiers. And there was a radio host who ended up striking like an agreement with them that they would stop doing them for a certain amount of time. And in exchange, he would give them like 2 hours of his radio show and let them do whatever he want. So it's not that, I mean, honestly, I know you said that in jest, but that's a strategy they've like basically like bullying platforms into hosting them is something that they've done before. So. But that was before Christian
happening on my
eating.
show.
That was
Yeah.
before Christian eating became like a huge problem. So now most of their energy is focused on this whole Christian eater issue.
Right.
The last time I encountered Christian protesters was like a month ago. And I went to the Unashamed Forever tour, which was like all the Reach Records guys like Lecrae, Andy Mineo, Tadashi, all those at a large church here.
Yeah.
And we're all going to this concert, and I have my son, his little friend, and we're walking across the street, and there were people protesting it, Christians protesting it with megaphones and signs that we were all like compromising and going to hell. They're yelling that we're going to go to hell because we're going in, we're idolizing man and not God. And am I
Really?
Yeah. And they were yelling about the impending nuclear war and stuff like that. And literally,
sure.
like my son is like asking me, what does that mean and all this stuff. It's horrible. But they were trying to get clever. and they were
on their signage.
Yeah, and what they were yelling, they were trying to get clever. They're big, like they're really proud of this one. They were talking about why are we going to watch Andy Cineo, not Mineo.
Oh, sure.
And
Honey,
because he has songs talking about like I got this, and you watch me now or whatever like that, where like he's like pointing the fame to himself, so therefore he's sinning Andy Cineo.
Oh wow!
My kids were, the kids were like, "What? Get over that! Get over yourself."
To be fair to the protesters, Tripoli was eaten alive that night, and had they done their job, maybe another Christian wouldn't have been eaten.
Again, marketing strategy gone wrong, because that's just hilarious, and it makes me want to get even more into Andy Mineo.
I know. I was like, seriously, I need to go deeper into his catalog. Andy Cineo, that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah,
I could see him doing like a persona, like where it's the one song's by Andy Cineo, and it's like you learn this interesting backstory. It's like, oh, that's a fantastic idea, like the
Chris Gaines kind of moment.
Yeah, come on.
That worked out so well for Garth Brooks that what could happen, what could go wrong with Andy Cineo.
You got to give it to him for trying it. I love that.
Yeah, no, but it would be more like the Eminem Slim Shady thing. Like it's Andy Mineo's Slim Shady.
So you're saying like Andy Cineo's songs would be more like the Screw Tape Letters, where it's like like the alternative, like to make a larger point about the bad approach leads to death and destruction, and Andy Mineo brings the light. I like it.
Pitch it to him. Let's pitch it. Let's go.
I just got another text from Jenna. She said, "Wasn't joking. Please don't tell Annie I said this." So, I don't know what to do at this point.
She's right now. What people don't see is I see Jenna in the background, and she is putting a pack of hot dogs into a blender and preparing her lunch for the day. It's
so
just liquefied hot dog, and that's all she's got.
But it's Monday, so it's not Tuesday.
It's Monday. Sorry. It's very busy, so you drink up those hot dogs and
it's a busy day in the office. We are blending hot dogs today.
Get to work. Mama's got contracts that need to get out.
All right. That'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Jesse's conversation with Tim Tebow. You're listening to Bunt featuring The Dip. The song is Sure Don't Miss You. We are so grateful to Samaritan Ministries for sponsoring the Relevant Podcast. They're an amazing organization. Go check them out. Please go check them out. I love their disruptive model. It's awesome to hear stories of lives changed. Well, Tim Tebow is a professional athlete, an author, and now a film producer. His debut film, Run the Race, has just released to Blu-ray, iTunes, and Amazon. It tells the story of two brothers as they wrestle with faith, overcoming life hardships and understanding what God has in store for them. Our very own Jesse Carey spoke with Tim about the film, why he wanted to get into the movie business, and using stories to tackle difficult ideas. Here is Jesse's conversation with Tim Tebow.
Tell me a little bit about, Tim, why you wanted to kind of get into the film industry.
To be honest, I didn't. I really never had the goal of getting into the movie industry until we sat down, gosh, I don't even know, 5 or so years ago with Jake and Trey, two friends of ours, and they had this script of Run the Race, and I read it, and it obviously touched me, but I still was like, you know what, you could read a lot of things in it, and it, hit you the first time. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait. And I went a couple months later on a trip to the Philippines, and I was like, I'm going to read it on the trip with all the traveling time. And I did it again, and then I let some other friends and family read it, and they were all impacted. And I was like, man, if it impacts all of us, I think this is a story worth telling. And so that was kind of the start of the process, and I didn't know anything about getting into the movie industry, but we were able to get some great partners and figure out how to get this thing done. And it just was a really fun process, and I think a special process. And with ultimately the goal of lives being encouraged and touched in a positive way. And I think that happened.
Well, one cool thing about the movie is like there's so many like layers that I feel like would appeal to different audiences. You have like the sports theme, kind of the family dynamics, the the kind of coming of age, you have, faith. When you first read that script, when you were flying to the Philippines, what is the thing that jumped out to you the most about Run the Race?
I think probably the brothers dynamics, because me and my brothers and how close we are, I think that was one of the first things. And I think it was being able to understand how powerful it is when someone's in your corner and you have, it's not all perfect, but you have that family member, those friends that believe in you, to support you. And then ultimately understanding that we're all running a race, but where are we running it? And why are we running it? What race are we even in? And who are we running towards? And I guess kind of figuring out what our ultimate goal is. And I think that's one of the powerful stories of the movie is, for so much of the time, the goal was to get out, to get a championship, to get a scholarship, to get a better life. But then, you realize at the end that what is a better life? A better life is running towards Jesus and the plan that God has for you. And understanding it doesn't mean it's always going to be easy or fun or even beautiful, but it's going to be the best path for you in the long run. And that was one of the most exciting parts for me.
If someone who is just like either, a fan of yours or just is a fan of sports movies who may not have any kind of religious background goes in to see this movie, what do you hope that they'll take away from the message of it?
Well, that's a very deep question. Hopefully a lot of things. Hopefully, I think more than anything is that God loves them like crazy. And that's why we made it such a big theme. Because, it's really hard to truly love others until you know how much God loves you. And it's really hard to even be able to, love yourself the way that you should until you realize that God loves you for the good and the bad and everything that we've been through and have done. And when you understand that the God of this universe loves you like crazy and has a plan for you, and he wants to know you personally and intimately, that changes and changes everything for you. And so that would be, I think, the ultimate, the number one goal, but I think also would be just to be able to encourage people, and so whether it's, a struggling family or siblings or relationships, that this could touch on relationships because we're all, have our highs and lows in different relationships. And so it would be something that people could walk out with not a fake sense of, entertainment, but like this is a real movie of, and it could be something that people could walk out being encouraged and really feel that in their everyday life.
Tim, one final question, man. I have a friend. I promised I would ask her this. She is a big fan of yours, but she went to Georgia for college, and she used to go. She used to go.
No one's perfect.
She used to go to. She used to go to Gator games. When you guys were dominating the SEC, and she would sit right up front, and she would heckle the Gators because that was really the only thing they had when you guys were playing them. You were just steamrolling. What, as a competitor, but also as someone who's just a good dude, what is your opinion about heckling when it comes to on the field itself?
That's a really good question. I don't know that even.
She's very conflicted about it. She for her context, she's like, get, I
mean, I get it almost every day in baseball season. I think there's the quiet majority of people, but then there's the loud minority of few people that want to heckle the whole game. And I think there's a way that it can be done of, rooting for the other team and, and cheering for your own team. But I also think that there's a place where there's probably a fine line of some of the words you choose to say and go after in different, personal places that people try to go to. And so I think it's just to support your team is great. And I think it's, totally fine. It's sports. Fans should go out there and cheer for their teams. And that's great. I think there's there's a line sometimes that not everybody, I think, understands or sees, that they should probably understand that there's still people there, you know?
That was Tim Tebow. Stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback. Listening to Pete Yorn. The song is Calm Down. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week for the editorial question of the week, we asked you what Christian culture trends and cultural items should be canceled. We got talking about cancel culture, and we thought what Christian culture trends should be canceled. You guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and you also posted on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here's a few of our favorites.
Yesh, I agree with what Yesh said, but I have a little umbrage. It said cancel short mission trips. Get it? Yep. I read When Helping Hurts. I understand. And then also said cancel Yeti cups. I get that it's a trend.
Why?
I guess because it's just why, Jesse? Why do you think Yesh said cancel Yeti cups?
I've converted. Cameron knows this, and I've talked about it at length.
He drinks the Kool-Aid. He drinks the Kool-Aid now out of a Yeti cup. I'm just saying.
And you know what? That Kool-Aid is ice cold for 3 days. It is unbelievable. The technology makes no sense. It's like Tony Stark designed these. I have no idea how they work, but it's unbelievable.
I got one for Christmas and sip hot coffee until like 1 cup of hot coffee until noon. It's magical. I even want another one. I want the small half-size one.
I don't have one. I have a hydro flask that I live and die by because it keeps water cold all day, but I don't have a Yeti.
Yeti will blow your mind. And if you have a really thoughtful friend in your life, maybe they will give you one as a gift. Let's say hypothetically at like a white elephant exchange, but maybe you will.
Maybe I could just remind all three of you that my birthday is in like 2 weeks.
Jesse,
you didn't have to remind me.
I drank out of it yesterday. I appreciate and use the present. Listen, I'm just saying.
I've seen him drink out of many cups since I've given him a Yeti. And not once was it a Yeti. I've been at his house and seen him drink beverages. I've seen him in the office.
All day yesterday.
They're magical. I love them so much. But I understand, yes, it has gotten into like put the sticker on the back of your car and wear the hat that says Yeti. Oh, yeah. There's a whole, especially down in Florida. I mean, you're in the South.
That feels like a Florida thing. We don't do that.
It's definitely a brand that's like I see a lot of places and I was like, all right, it's like wearing Igloo cooler or something brand. It's like,
I would wear a Rubbermaid hoodie, but yeah. Okay, Carter had a couple interesting ones here. Carter had he was feeling he's feeling angry because he canceled a lot of things. The phrase "ring by spring" canceled. So you guys know that, like especially you hear that a lot of Christian colleges where eligible singles want to make sure they get engaged by
before
the end of the year.
An MRS degree.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, the classic Christian college show.
I mean, I don't think anybody aspires to ring by spring. I think that the phrase came because it just is like a trend that people are observing.
You know my friend, are very wrong.
Oh, really?
A lot of people aspire to ring by spring.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you're saying a lot of people will enter college. Yes. With the sole hope of becoming engaged by the spring semester, Annie. You're saying that's a real thing.
I think you used a lot of extra words in that sentence that you didn't need to use. Like
that's
the
exactly
sole
what you
hope,
said.
And they
that's
enter
exactly
college.
What Annie said.
No. I just think that majority of Christians 20 years ago when I was in college, so I can't speak about college students today. Maybe they will speak back to us. They tend to do that. I think a lot of people assume they'll be engaged by the end of their senior year. I think that's part of what 24-year-olds who are single have to deal with is this wasn't what their life was supposed to look like. Yeah. So yes, I think a lot of people think that.
Yes, I think they're still going for education and for quality time in the college experience. I do think there is also a background and consistent hope that something else will brew.
It's interesting you say that, Annie. I saw a recent study about the biggest fears of young Christians. And one is not getting married by the time they leave Christian colleges. 2 is being eaten.
Yeah. So 3 is not getting a lunch break.
Yeah. Close third
working
is
for Annie F. Downs is
having
3.
to drink hot dogs while working for Annie with a warm glass of hot dog water to drink.
But do you think all the demographic studies that we know now, I mean, like this generation's getting married a lot later, like 28, 29, 30, not 22. Do you still think that that's a thing in Christian college culture?
I mean, I don't know. That's why I said back when I was in college, it was more of a conversation. But I do still talk to a lot of single women and single men who are still in their 20s that thought they would be married by now. That is like a very common conversation I have with people. So anecdotally, it seems very true. I can't tell you scientifically.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah. Well, Carter wants that whole philosophy canceled. He also wants sharing a cup for communion canceled.
Well, I can respect that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not sanitary. He also wants the phrase "peace be with you" and also with you canceled, which I don't see a problem with that. It's kind of
I think we're picking up on his church experience.
Yeah.
What denomination he comes from.
Yeah, but he's also canceled, strangely, listicles, which, listen, I got no beef with listicles.
Yeah, I love listicle.
Jesse has
Some people make a fine career on listicles.
On the backs of listicles.
Jesse writes them like a pro.
Are able to provide insurance and a lovely mortgage.
Listicles have provided
not like a pro. He literally is a professional listicle writer.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah, exactly. It's very prestigious. No, but I love reading them too. Like, there's a lot of like higher end. Well, I say higher end, like websites that fashion themselves as, more prestige that I like to read, but they went away from listicles out of principle for a long time. And now they're bringing them back because they're just, if you're sitting on your phone reading, a listicle is just way easier to consume. Like the way people don't sit down with a newspaper and, read 4,000 words investigative pieces at the same rate that they look at their phone and read a listicle of the best, Steph Curry crossovers. Like it's just an optimal reading experience, Carter.
Yeah. It's just organization, Carter. So back off.
I found myself this morning reading a listicle 23 times The Office just went too far. And it was just literally 23 GIFs.
It's great. It's a great headline. It's a great listicle. It's like, I'm clicking on this and reading it at a stoplight.
I'm reading this whole thing.
Yep.
I like Bethany's answer. She says that she'd like to cancel the use of the word season in Christianity when referring to anything other than weather patterns and adding spices to food. I get that. I do think like people say, I'm really,
I don't know. I mean, Ecclesiastes talks about that.
Thank you.
There's a rhythm to our faith, and that for everything there is a season.
But can we use another word? I mean, there's a lot of words in the Bible that we don't necessarily want to keep using all the time.
Like what? Smite?
I have thought about this too, and I can't come up with another word, so I'm still seasoning everybody. But like a good Christian eater should.
Yeah. So Annie F. Downs, what words do you think should be canceled from the Bible in your version?
Oh. Wait, it's talking about weather? I thought when someone say I'm in a difficult season right now, it's like, oh, you're kind of like in an oregano thing right now. Like, like
it says it's raining a lot.
Oh, it makes a lot lot more sense because
you bet a little too hard on turmeric and it just hit you.
And you have regrets about it.
Jonathan said, let's retire the phrase love on people. Just stop it. It's creepy. Sincerely, a youth pastor. Jonathan, 100% true. 100%. There may have been a point in the 90s when it worked, but now it is just it's a red flag.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and there was several people who said that same thing. Like in children's ministry, I don't want you loving on my children. That kind of. It was a lot of people said that one.
Yeah.
Or Michael wants do life. Let's do life together. Oh, that needs to go.
I can get behind that.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's meeting at the coffee shop, just chatting, doing some life together. Yeah.
Just living on Aaron Moore, just hanging out with Neil,
let's go do life together on Aaron Moore.
Just doing life on Aaron Moore. You want to get a ring by spring?
You want to give a ring by spring? Make that offer. Let's go live life. Let's go do life together on Aaron Moore. On an island all to ourselves.
Aaron Moore sounds like the fictional kingdom from some Disney princess movie,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
David did a good one. David said, I'd like to cancel people acting like the fact that they like Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, or Beyonce is important. He said, dogs are interested in that as well. We all like those things, which I think is a funny one. People posting that they're like super into Chick-fil-A. You're like, what human being outside of, Texas isn't into Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. We all appreciate Beyonce.
A little bonus editorial question of the week. On Friday, Friday's show, we got talking about, I don't know how we got talking about it, but if George W. Bush shot a TV channel on his ranch, it would clearly be called Bushwhack TV, and all the
100%.
The interview shows that he would have, like George W. Bush.
I can't believe you're doing this again.
Painting portraits while interviewing a friend who's also painting a portrait, and they're just chatting while they paint. So it's kind of Bob Ross meets, long form interview, stuff like that.
One of the Bachelor guys does that. He paints paintings like Bob Ross without a shirt on.
Is his show called Curious George? Does he have a show called For the W?
I can't believe
because these are shows on Bushwhack TV.
So
I'm supposed to stop this.
On Friday, you guys went rogue and did your own question of the week on Twitter and started pitching shows you'd like to see on Bushwhack TV. So here's a few of those replies.
Okay. Well, Jimmy he had 3, and I will read all 3 of Jimmy's. One is called Mission Accomplished. It's like Fixer Upper, but W visits unfinished products and houses and says they're done.
Mission accomplished. Well done.
Jimmy also said, obviously there's a Dick Cheney hunting show.
David said, Ambushed. It's a reality show where the Bush family sits down in an intervention situation to help people with their odd addictions. Ambushed.
Good one. Annie and I are just not a part of this.
Yeah, we're just sitting back and letting y'all do this.
Conscientious objectors.
Jimmy also
I'm a
said
conscientious objector of what's happening.
This is a deep cut from people who kept up with the news cycle and the Bush administration. A show where you dodge shoes called Soul Survivor, but it's
Dodge
SOL.
shoes, wow, that's good.
I love it.
There's a bunch. Okay, that's it for last week's feedback. There's a lot more where that came from. Go check it out online. It's time for
editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, it's full on summer break. If you're in college, you're not. If you're a parent, your kids are out, and it's the time that people travel and kids get shuffled off to camp, youth camps, church camps, summer camps, and it got us thinking.
Vacation Bible School.
Oh, Vacation Bible School.
Classic.
Got us thinking about our summer camp memories. For this week's question of the week, we want to know your funniest, craziest, maybe most traumatic. No, not that one. No.
I was at Vacation Bible School one time, and we ate a fellow Christian. It was weird. I don't know why we did it. I regret it, but that taste has never left my mouth.
We want to know your funniest, most memorable, or biggest disaster summer camp stories. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast or post your longer ones on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com.
Man, I'll tell you mine. I was at Camp Silver Paddle, which was a YMCA camp.
That sounds like something out of an 80s. Camp Silver Paddle is literally one out of an 80s movie where you're with the ragtag team and you get picked on by the rich campers across the way.
I'm wearing corduroy shorts and a t-shirt that has the Camp Silver Paddle logo with like the red rings around the arm and the neck. Like it's straight 80s.
And the preppy rich kids from across the lake throw things at you guys and yell insults at you all summer. You prepare
Camp
your
Silver Paddle
revenge. Yeah,
but there was a morning kids show, like a local TV show on at the time that was objectively terrible, but as a kid it was amazing. And this lady and this really real junky kind of robot would co-host it together. And so the robot was just like some guy moving it was really junky, but would have this robot voice. Well, they came and did an on location segment at Camp Silver Paddle. And in my life, if Beyonce strolled through the front door with Jay-Z and with the Obama family, I'd never be more excited to see anyone than I was to see that robot at Camp Silver Paddle. And that's as good as it. That was the highlight of maybe my whole life.
That peak. It's all been downhill since that day.
Oh yeah. 9-year-old Eddie was in his zone.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's not really, I think I've told this story numerous times, but it's not a Christian camp, but it was like a Christian outing. When I was in high school, I went to a Baptist high school, and for senior trip that year, I don't know if you guys did senior trips, we went on a Christian cruise, and the Christian cruise was 80% elderly people, and the other 20% were Christian Christian school students on a trip. Anyway, there was a talent show that my friends dared me to sign up for and do really bad stand-up comedy. And I thought it'd be hilarious, just tell really bad jokes. But the audience that night was 99% old people, and literally every other act was old people singing gospel hymns together. I was the only non-singer to be in this talent show. And unintentionally bombing got real awkward when the host of the evening, the MC, was a woman named Geraldine and her puppet Ricky. They were so freaking mean to me in front of those old people. Like, they started heckling me and getting real personal. Like, Geraldine, that Ricky has a mouth on him, and the old people just loved seeing a puppet put some punk high schooler's place. My school made me write a letter of apology to the cruise line.
Summer camps. Our summer camp had a like youth camp had like a talent show on the last night and stuff like that. I didn't participate, but I remember seeing it. But
can we also ask everyone to tell us what they would do with a life-size stuffed animal? I just want to know.
What do you mean? What would they do?
No, it's not an elephant that we have killed. It is a stuffed animal shaped like an elephant.
Like a plush.
That is life-size.
Like it's furry, like plush.
Yes.
It's not.
Yeah. We're not talking about killing an endangered species.
Annie, give us an example. What is one thing you would do with that elephant?
Well, I'm mostly looking at Eddie because Eddie is in this very fancy house behind him. And I keep thinking, how funny would that be if there was a life-size stuffed animal elephant in that living room?
You're
the
just
kids
missing.
Would be playing on it.
I hear what you're saying, but you're missing like how many storage containers do we need for all that meat? Like where does the meat go?
I think I would use it again in a stuffed animal situation. I think I would use the trunk like I would sit in the trunk like Dumbo does in his mama's trunk.
No, the only reasonable thing to do with something like that is to carve out the middle and make it your own Trojan horse type of thing.
Oh, so let's say that's a great answer.
Say, Annie, let's say you got a meeting with a publisher, right? And the meeting goes well, so you think, but you're like, I got to hear what they're saying about me after the meeting. So the meeting ends, oh, nice to meet you, Annie. We'll be in touch. Oh, and then, Annie leaves. All of a sudden, there's a knock at the door, and they're like, look, a giant stuffed elephant. Someone sent us for appreciation. They love our books. Little do they know, Annie has crawled inside and will be sleeping there and listening for people who talk about her like a Trojan. You would do that, right, Annie? I mean, that's a reasonable thing to do with a stuffed elephant.
Yes, for sure. I would hide in it like a Trojan horse.
I don't know what else one would do with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the culmination of that. That's that question.
We will find out. We will find out.
I guess so. All right. Well, many thanks to Tim Tebow for joining us. Remember, his new film, Run the Race, is out now. Also, thanks to Samaritan Ministries for making the episode possible. If you'd like to learn more about how you can be part of this ministry helping each other with health care, visit SamaritanMinistries.org/relevant. Oh, hey, and while you're online this week, head over to the old Relevance store. We've been updating the podcast section with some Bushwhack TV memorabilia if you'd like to acquire any of it.
Limited run.
Bushwhack TV.
I'm going to try to make it as limited as possible.
You can find it at store.relevantmagazine.com.
I think Annie just issued a threat for some reason.
Yeah. That you heard it correctly.
You're going to see an unbelievable amount of that merchandise shipped to the middle of Texas, to a ranch in the middle of Texas.
That's right.
Man, I like this idea. Ooh, I love it. I'm on board.
Actually, when I was making the logo, I was like, this looks like an actual TV station George Bush would be part of. Like,
it really does. And I honestly think if somehow it made it to him, he'd be like, I am in. I'm in.
I'm in.
No, yeah. We're not doing this.
I'm thinking maybe this week I should make some Andy Cineo merch, but he may not like that.
Yeah, you may have to run that by the actual person involved.
The actual person, yeah. All right.
It's better to ask forgiveness and permission. We all know that.
On that note, we'll wrap things up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Clark Flippo.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Eddie Koffoltz.
And I'm Annie F. Downs.
We'll see you on Friday. Have a great week, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Reminisce about the days growing up and the first person you kiss. And as I think back, makes me wonder how the smell from a grill can spark up nostalgia. All the kids playing out front, little boys messing around, but the girls playing double dutch. While the DJ spinning a tune as the old folks dance at your family reunion.
You have two options. Make that left hand learn to write or start liquefying your lunch.
Relevant Podcast Network.